Okay, so guys, I'm here. No. No, this is how it is, bro, innit? Wallahi. Alright, so guys, I'm here with the one and only Giovanni, the REVERT.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Wa alaikum assalam. Anyway, so honestly, on a real level, Giovanni, if you can, wallahi, just let us know, like the first time you told me, my bro, what sort of pushed you towards like Islam? Without it being like da'wah, you're not giving da'wah to them, but it's more so,
The pushing
yeah, like the YouTube channel, was it a guy who gave you da'wah? What was your initial perception of Islam? That sort of stuff, innit?
So, I think it was more of a mix between the two. So, it was to do with my sibling, and also YouTube channel, Merciful Servant.
Yeah.
You know, they got the gems on there.
Yeah, oh yes, they do.
So I think the way it started was that once you're living life, and you're passing by and you're seeing how people act and how they are, and you see someone like my sibling who was once on a path which wasn't leading to anything.
Yeah.
It was just something that was installed into him, gang life, violence, you know, London, that lifestyle, right?
Giovanni lifestyle.
Yeah. So that lifestyle, and then once you see one, like every day they're doing the same stuff, and they're known as someone who's big, who's that guy, who'd ride for their ends, you know, that type. And then one day you go and visit them, and then they had a whole flip around. You wonder, like, why did they switch so suddenly? What made them switch? It must be something big, right?
Yeah, 100.
So when you wonder what the switch was, you ask them the question, what happened?
Yeah.
And me as a
Natural, speak natural. You're speaking like there's some documentary on. Yeah.
Like me, as a person who believes in God.
Yeah.
I've always believed in God, but I never believed in what my family taught me or what the church taught me. So it was like I went into this conversation with an open mind. I wasn't like, oh, Christianity, Catholicism, this is 100% the way. I didn't believe in my own religion at the time. I was more of someone who believed in God and prayed to God every day and loved God, but I didn't believe that, okay, you know, the Holy Trinity didn't make sense to me, all these concepts didn't make sense to me. Whenever I asked the questions to the people, like my parents, oh, so why does the religion say this, why does it say this, they could never answer. It felt like something like a blind type of belief. So for me, that's why I didn't lose faith. I lost faith in my religion, but God was always in me. Like, not in me, but, you know what I mean? God was always in my heart, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So I questioned my brother. I said to him, okay, so why did you change? And he told me Islam is why I changed. I knew what Islam was, growing up in London, growing up in Harrow.
What was in your head though, like, about Islam? What do you think? Because obviously, the reason I'm asking is that your perception, your thoughts are probably going to be what the vast majority of people are thinking as a like non-believer. Okay, so no, for me, the way since I grew up in Harrow, there's many Muslims around me. All my friends, most of my friends are Muslim when I grew up. So like for me, like what's weird is that when I was little, I used to, if you asked me who was Jesus, I wouldn't say the concept of what the Catholics believe. I would say Jesus was a prophet. Yeah. You know, where'd you get that from though? That just from my own, as a kid, I just had this in my brain. Like, because I asked myself, is he son of God? No, he can't be son of God. And I asked myself, is he God? No, he was a human. And what else was there? There's the prophets. And I was like, we said he was a prophet, right? That's what I believe. Which is very odd. If I said that in the church, I would have been, you know what I mean? 100. But I kept quiet about it. But once he told me, oh, we believe that Jesus is a prophet, I think that was the turning point for me. Because I was like, oh wait, the Muslims believe that Jesus was a prophet as well. I thought it was only Muhammad for them, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So then, after that conversation, he told me, go home and do your own research and see where your heart turns towards. Okay. So then, once I went home, I started searching up videos. Merciful Servant came up. Oh, wait. What was like... Well, obviously, you know when you're watching Merciful Servant, what videos were you watching, like, first and foremost, though? Was it like one of those Islamic lecture type videos, or was it...
No, it wasn't the lectures. It was... Well, you know what they do? They have lectures installed into videos where they then put animation and mix it up, you know what I mean? So the first video was about... It was either one of the two. I think it was the throne of Allah. Is it? I think it was. It was very powerful.
Bomba video. It was really powerful. Bomba video, yeah.
So, but the main video was who made me and why. So it started describing... So this is the atheist view, this is the Christian view. And Christian view I already didn't believe in
Okay,
anymore.
okay.
The atheist view makes no sense to me either way, you know.
Yeah,
there has to be for me, there has to be a creator.
Yeah, 100.
So then I looked, and then they started speaking about the Muslim view and how he believed in all prophets
Yeah.
that came before Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as well.
Okay.
And how these prophets all came with one strict message, which was believe in one God. What I believe in right now,
Yeah.
I believe in one God and believe in all the messengers.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, okay, so how do I now figure out whether or not someone is a prophet? So then I started looking at, there's another video, 9 shocking facts of the Quran, which is a very good video as well.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this video, and it just comes with all these evidences, all these proof, and I'm like, how can someone believe in like monotheism, the one belief in God, and they believe that this man, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he would either be a liar, an evil liar, or a man of truth.
Yeah.
How can a man who's evil come with such a message, believe in one God? Look at the other faiths before him when he came.
Yeah.
They all associated other beings with God. Abraham, what did he do? Ibrahim alayhi salam. What did he do? As a kid, he used to break the statues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nowadays, you see in the church, you see these statues. You see these, like, all these things.
Okay,
you see this, like, they believe that, oh, if you hold the cross, you have power. They're giving objects power, when no, we should only believe that God is the one true power.
Okay.
So I'm looking at all of this, and I'm thinking to myself, how can a man who came and abolished all these ideas of stop believing that other objects have power, just believe in the one true God and believe in all his messengers, and act with justice, act with kindness? I said, how can you believe he's evil? How can a man come where women, little baby girls used to be buried? They used to be buried just because they were girls. How can he come? He abolished this, and he said this is wrong. And he said, in front of the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, man and a woman are equal. When it comes to in the day of judgment, they will be equal. So I'm thinking to myself, how can this man be evil? How can you say to me, to my face, this man is evil, man? He's like, how can you can go to a Christian and say, would Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, would Jesus have saw this man and how he acted and all the things he done and said he was an evil man? What sense does it make? Makes no sense.
So it's like, for you, it was a combination of life experiences, but was it also like an element to it that you read the Old Testament or New Testament, and then from that you had...
Most of my knowledge of Christianity, I did go to classes, but you know, when you're younger, you don't really pay attention much to classes. My family wasn't strict either. It's not even about strict, they wasn't practicing. So
I see what you're saying.
What like, I wasn't taught the proper, but I didn't need to be taught the proper view in order to just look at the main concept and see that it's flawed, you know what I mean? So once I saw the main concept is flawed, how can I believe in the extra things to come after it?
Okay, that's super clear. Now that you've accepted Islam, may Allah bless you in that. Wallahi, and if you don't know, there's hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Islamu, I believe is كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Al-Islamu يجب ما قبله, I believe it is that Islam wipes away with that of which was before it. So any sins that you had prior, you know that you're a newborn baby, naughty boy. Alright, so I was gonna say to you, now that you're, alhamdulillah, you're in Islam, it's been like a year and a bit now, isn't it?
Yeah, I can also talk about what made me actually say my shahada, because I didn't say it until a year or 2 years.
Okay.
So this is a big problem for Muslims in general, right? So everyone thinks they're not ready for something. They're not ready. Okay, let's put it into perspective. They're not ready to start praying. For maybe a woman, they're not ready to start wearing hijab. You're not ready to start doing these righteous actions. You feel like, I'm not ready, I'm not worthy. Maybe I'll stop doing it, I'll make this mistake. I said to myself, if I become a Muslim, I'm not ready. I do too many sins, I'm not good enough. This is what I used to tell myself. But I had a dream, right? Sounds kind of cheesy. But I had a dream where, so I went to sleep. And I woke up, and something just, like a beam of light just came towards me. And I felt as if I had died. And I just started asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness again and again and again. And I woke up, but it felt like such a real dream.
So you were legit scared?
I thought I died. Wallah, like, I swear.
Was it that mad?
It was the craziest dream I've ever had. This is what made me say my shahada. I felt my body just... I swear, it was crazy. So that I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I have to say my shahada.
Okay.
So what happens is I take a wash. I'm the only one by myself in my house. I take a wash, go into my room by myself and just say my shahada. But then my friends are like to me, oh, let's go to the mosque and do it. I said, okay. Go to Regent's Park Mosque, have my 2 witnesses, say my shahada. Newborn baby.
Hey, Allahumma barik.
What I was addressing before is actually a real problem, because we all think we're not ready for something. But if you build your iman, you can see countless times Allah tells us, if we do something for Him, He will make it easier upon us. And even if you struggle with something, indeed with hardship will come ease. You know what I mean?
Come on.
This is a real problem amongst our society as well, because the reason so many people stop trying to do well is because they think they're not ready. They think they're too far into sin. But you always be ready, even if you were the worst of people. Think about it. The Pharaoh, Pharaoh, he was going to say his shahada just before he was going to die, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was going to forgive him. Him, the worst of people, who had slaves, saying he's God himself, and he would have been forgiven. And you think you can't be forgiven? This is, you know what I mean? Like, if you think to yourself, like for me, for 2 years I thought to myself, I can't become Muslim yet, but I had the belief that Islam was correct. I knew it was correct. I was still doing research.
To proclaim it,
So, like if someone said something against Islam, if someone said anything against Islam, I would have said, oh well, that's my religion, even though I haven't said my shahada yet. But for me, I see this problem as something that needs to be addressed, like a lot, because we all think we can't start doing something because we're not good enough. But trust me, just do it, and you're gonna see. It's the initial step of starting it. After that, it becomes easy. Trust me. Praying, once you start it, maybe at the start it'll be a bit hard, but once you make it into a habit, it becomes second nature. Just like with anything else, seeking knowledge. If you wanted to start wearing like the correct hijab, for both genders, we both have to be, modest. Just anything you want to do, trust me, you can do it if you really aim to do it.
It's like the Shamsi example that he gives, isn't it? When he says that if you want to think of it like this, Islam is sweeter than a cake, but with a cake, if you eat it all at once, what happens, bro?
Become full, become fat.
You become sick, no?
So you become sick, yeah.
100. So
too much, too fast.
Exactly. So if you eat the cake all at once, you're not gonna enjoy the sweetness of the cake. You're gonna feel sick. You're gonna vomit. But in order to enjoy the sweetness of the cake, we're gonna do piece by piece. 100.
Also, when I think about it, when I first joined Islam, I was just very fast. Wanted to know everything. Just like everyone is, you know what I mean? Once you find Islam, even if you were raised a Muslim, once you find that Islam for what it is, truthfully for yourself, you want to learn everything, you want to know everything, because you see these people that are so knowledgeable, you're like, I want to be like them. But what you need to realize, humble yourself and go bit by bit, because when Islam was when Tawheed, how long was Tawheed taught for? 13 years, right? So look how long it was taught for, 13 years. Right now we look at Tawheed as like, oh yeah, I'll just learn one day, but they had 13 years. You know what I mean? We need to prioritize the principles. We need to have the foundation which is strong. Without a strong foundation, if you have then how can like the next roots to come? How can they be strong?
100. It's like a building, the foundation's first, and then the roof.
If the roof is strong and then the bottom, the core is weak, you will fall apart. Subhanallah. You become either too extreme on one side or too extreme on the other. You know what I mean? And you want to have the middle path. That's why slowly, bit by bit, like for example, stuff such as alcohol wasn't forbidden straight away when the Prophet ﷺ came. Why? Because if he came with every single rule straight away, the people would have run away. They wouldn't have listened. That's why, bit by bit, step by step, don't be too fast with someone. Like me, we all make this mistake as well. Like when we speak to someone, not all of us, but many of us make this mistake. I see people always seeing someone, especially online, and saying, okay, so they made this mistake, start cursing them, saying you are deviant, you are this and that. I see this a lot online. And you need to calm down, because you once upon a time were not knowledgeable as you are today. So if someone was to come to you and called you such words, would you have came to realize what Islam is for Islam? No, you wouldn't have come to realize. So you need to come with a certain attitude, a certain approach. You need to come with nice words. Come with the way Prophet ﷺ came. That's who we should look at as an example. If he didn't come shouting, then why are you going to come shouting? You know what I mean?
Barakallahu feek, Javani, man. Honestly, it's just... the last thing I'm going to ask you, Ak, is that, sometimes you probably felt a little bit lonely, like, especially when you first went into it. How did you, manage it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you first come in, it's like information overload, no?
When I first came into Islam, I wanted to keep on learning. I'm not as active as I am back then. Back then
I get you. Everyone has like, there's hadith of peace upon him where he says, "Inna li kulli amalin shira," that with every action there's like a phase where you're gonna be overzealous. Like you want to study everything, yeah, it's good. I'm saying, but then straight after that you're gonna get a dip as well, innit? Naturally you're gonna get a dip. Some people's dip is gonna be so bad that they're just gonna, as fast as they came on deen, as fast as they're gonna come off. So you need to do a steady amount so that long term, you're living. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying, how was it just like Merciful Servant? Did you just bang that out?
No. There's many different like sources. So, when obviously having so many Muslim friends growing up.
So you make sure that you are not going off in a tangent, basically.
Yeah, I wasn't just going on YouTube videos.
Yeah,
I mean, YouTube videos can be misleading as well.
That's what I'm saying.
They can have put some false hadith for all I know. I mean, fact check all the time. Always fact check. Remember, always fact check. 100. Never be a blind believer.
100.
And so I used to have friends as well that I used to go to. They had friends who were also knowledgeable.
Okay.
I'm still friends with most of them right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of what's sad is a lot of people that helped me come on the path.
Come off.
Not completely come off, but you can see a lot of them have started to go a bit slowly off it. But what's my job to do? Put them back on. Return the favor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100.
A true believer will do this.
Yeah, 100. No, but that's good though. Melo respect, wallahi. Give you the salam.
Assalamu alaikum, man.
Wa alaikum salam.
We're just chill with each other anyway right now.
Yeah, no.